Ready to open the hood? UseTool for the tutorials.
And for car parts, the right idea is the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
You will find the TRW control arms used in the video through the link in the description. Turn your engine off, pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever, and open the bonnet. In order to make changes to the control arms on your vehicle, you must lift the front of the car and remove the wheels. This will give you full access to the suspension system. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels. Raise the front of the vehicle and put it in the two-axle stance. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, racing your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. In order to gain access to the control arms retaining screws, you'll need to remove the cordon shaft. To unscrew the hub lock knot, you have to prevent the disc from rotating. Insert a thin flatted screwdriver that can slip in between the two sides of the disc. You have to insert it in front of the brake caliper mount so that it butts up against the latter. With an iron bar and a 32mm socket, unscrew the nut on the hub, then remove it. To facilitate removal of the cordon shaft, unscrew the tie rod end from the stub axle. As the components to be removed are very often C-stub, don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. Using a 16mm spanner, release the holding lock nut on the tie rod end. Using a ball joint remover, remove the ball joint from the stub axle. Now, you have to remove the upper ball joint on the sway bar link. To do this, we recommend watching the video How to Replace the Sway Bar Links on a Citroën C3. Start by brushing the ball joint retaining nut on the control arm, then spray it with degreaser. Then, using a ratchet, a 16mm spanner and a 16mm socket, loosen the front retaining screw on the control arms. Then, remove the screw. You may want to use a drift punch to remove it. Use a crowbar to remove the ball joint from the control arm of the stub axle. In order to facilitate the removal of the cordon shaft, we advise you to unscrew the suspension strut support bearings by a few threads in order to create some play on your shock absorber. To do this, we recommend watching the video How to Replace the Front Shock Absorbers and Struts on a Citroën C3. You can now remove the cordon shaft from the stub axle. Move the cordon shaft aside to access the front retaining screw on the control arm. Brush the two screws, holding the control arms to the engine subframe, then spray them with degreaser. Using a ratchet and a Torx 55 socket, lock the front retaining screw on the control arms. Then, using a ratchet and a 21mm socket, unscrew the nut. Then remove the screw. Repeat the operation on the rear retaining screw. You can now remove the control arm.
All parts used in this tutorial are supplied by our trusted partners. These partners also help us create as many video tutorials as possible. Check them out in the description below.
You can find all the TRW parts and products used in the video in the link in the description. Take your new control arm and remove the protection on the ball joint. Place the metal plate on the ball joint. Start by brushing, then greasing the location of the control arm to facilitate the installation. Put the control arm in its place. You can use a screwdriver to line up and screw it in more easily. Then screw the fixings back onto the engine bed. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Sand and grease the inside of the ball joint pivot. grease the end of the drive shaft. Insert the cotton shaft into the stub axle. Reinstall the bolt joint in the pivot. Then screw it back in. Finish off the tightening with the torque wrench. Reinstall the tie rod end in the pivot. Then screw it back in. Finish off the tightening with the torque wrench. Put the sway bar link back in place. Finish off the tightening with the torque wrench. Repeat the screwdriver technique to block the rotation of the disc and to be able to lock the hub nut. Finish off the tightening with the torque wrench. Tighten with a hammer and a chisel. Put the wheels of your vehicle back on and lower it to the ground. During this operation, you will be working on the front end of your car, so it is advisable to perform a wheel alignment afterwards. Operation completed.
Hi, it's Theo from UseTool. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your car maintenance. We would be super grateful if you could spread the word so that we can produce even more tutorials. Simply give us a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us boost the channel and help the whole community. Thanks a lot and have a great one.